Welcome to Gun Reviews with Brett. Today we're going to go over the Mossberg 940 Pro. Let's get into it. Now before we get started, let me just tell you just one thing. I am a Mossberg guy. I have 5 Mossberg guns and I love them except for 2 of them. And I know if you are a Mossberg guy and you watch this review and I give it a bad review, you're going to say, well, it's just this singular Mossberg 940 Pro. I actually own 2. Now this isn't the fancy 940 GM Pro, the one that's like $1,200 to $1,500 with the extended tube and the fancy camo and the gold and all that stuff. This is just the 940 Pro that came in black with a 28-inch barrel, and I put a custom wrap on there, and I will show you in a later video how to do a custom wrap. Now this cost about 650 bucks, has the upper safety, which I love. Really good action, loads very well, very much the same as the Mossberg 930, which this was based on. Now let's talk about reliability. Now I've had both of them for about a year, and the first thing I did was, of course, took it apart, greased everything up, re-cleaned it, everything you know, everything you do when you buy a new gun. First thing I did was take it out to go skeet shooting, shoot some clays. After 15 rounds, this thing locked up and I could not pull the charging handle back to release the spent casing. So luckily we had the other one, used the other one. After another 5 rounds, about 20 rounds tops with that one, same problem. So I had to take both of them home to clear it out. And I was thinking maybe it's the ammo, maybe that's an issue. So I bought a better ammo to go skeet shooting, shoot clays. Brought it back out, same problem after about 5 rounds. And of course, this time I was able to pull it back and get it out, and that problem didn't happen until a long time later. So the next time I used it was during pheasant season. It worked great. I used 3-inch pheasant gold, 4 or 5 shot. Worked phenomenal. Then I switched out my ammo for goose season. Now, I tried different kinds of ammo. I always use 3-inch double BB. I use Browning. I used Winchester. I use Black Cloud. I use Precision Steel. And what would happen is it would shoot the first shot and then it wouldn't shoot the second shot. So it was boom, click, eject that out and have a second shot instead of 3. And you know, if you are a goose hunter, how sucky that is, because you got your first shot, you got them coming in, and they fly fast, and I call them a bulletproof bird because they are fast and their feathers are pretty thick. You got your first shot, boom, and you want to line up for your next one, boom. Or if you're like this, boom, click, then you got to go like this, and by that time they're way over here, and you're kind of screwed. So as I was saying before with the problems with the clay shooting where it wouldn't eject out the spent shell, I also had a similar problem with that 3-inch double BB where it wouldn't shoot the second shot. So it's just problem after problem. I mean, light rounds had a problem, heavy rounds had a problem. In the middle, it was great. Now let's take it apart and look at some of the internal parts here and what I think of them. As you can see, I have it apart. You know, they have this nice coating on this tube, and that's whatever, to be honest with you. But they tried to make this lightweight for competition shooting. I don't do competition shooting, and if I was gonna buy a competition gun, I'd probably spend a lot more, but I'm a hunter, so, and I shoot skeet just for fun. But it's kind of like this tube compared to like the Mossberg 930 is kind of cheap in comparison. You do have the oversized button here, which is very nice. I get it, it's nice. But also there is another problem, is this charging handle right here. Now this isn't stock. I had to buy this aftermarket because the one I had in the field, I was out pheasant hunting, it literally got snagged on a branch and it just popped off, which we read later is a massive problem. So if you do have the 940 Pro, buy an aftermarket one, and probably 2. Keep one in your pocket in case you're in high brush and the other one pops out. You can at least put another one back in. So I was pretty much just dead in the water out in the field that day. In the meantime, I have a Mossberg 930 that charging handle also fits. It is smaller, but it actually fits snug a lot better than, let me show you the stock one. The stock handle, or charging handle here for the Mossberg 940, because it just pops out no problem. Now let's take a look at the piston. Now this piston here has 2 rings in it. Let's see if you can see that up close. 2 rings. And there's a video out where this guy said, well, Mossberg said you can go through 1,500 rounds between cleanings. That is a lie. That is a lie. Because when I took this gun apart to remove that unspent shell, or that spent shell, sorry, it was dirty. So instead of 1,500 rounds, 15 rounds. So if you go out hunting with these, every time you come back, clean it, clean it, clean it, because this is a dirty, dirty gun. This was so gunked up that these rings on this piston that have to turn were completely seized with carbon. It was awful. And that never changed. I constantly have to clean them out. Clean this one out, clean this other one out when we use that one. Just a nightmare. It's a dirty, dirty gun. Doesn't matter what round you use, what ammo, it doesn't matter. It's a dirty, dirty gun. Now let's go over some of the accessories that it has. It has like shims and spacers, comes with 3 chokes, and then also extra optic sights. And I thought that was pretty cool. It came with optic sights. And I realized why they did it is the other one that I have, it just fell out. And it shouldn't do that. So this isn't like, in my opinion, hey, let's just give them extra ones. No, it basically, instead of fixing a problem, they just gave you more Band-Aids to cover it up. So what is my final verdict on the Mossberg 940 Pro? It has a lot of issues. A lot of issues. I think one of the biggest problems that they actually made it a problem, is they said, let's make it lightweight and let's make it faster for competition. Now, again, most competition people are not gonna buy a 940 GM Pro or a 940 Pro. Most people who buy shotguns are hunters, but they want to make it faster. And they made it faster, but then it actually gave it less reliability. So, and that's the most important thing with the gun, is reliability. The function and everything is great, but reliability is just not great at all. It's affordable, and I know some people are gonna say, well, you need to change this out, change that out, change this out. Well, that's like buying a car that's on all 4 donuts. Well, now you gotta buy new wheels and tires. I don't wanna do that. I want it out of the box, ready to roll. I understand you have to break in guns. I get that. I understand that. I've dealt with that before. But this one had so much hype, and it's not even close to what the hype about it is. It's really not. This was based off the Mossberg 930, which is, in my opinion, a much more superior shotgun, and that'll be my next gun review. But let's give a final verdict right now on this gun from a grading of A to F. A being the best, F being the worst. I will give this a C-. And the only reason it gets a C- instead of like a D, an F would be if it didn't work at all. But it doesn't work when I want it to work. So it would have got a D, but C, it's really good for pheasant season. And that load, that 4 to 5 shot in 3-inch, it works great. And I will give this gun a second chance in this coming season. As a Christian man, you got to give everybody and everything a second chance. So until next time, God bless you, and you guys have a great day.